Hey everyone, welcome to HSM. I'm so glad you could join us this morning. If you don't know, my name is Ryan, and I'm just happy you're here. Now, everyone, I know it's sad because everyone is officially done with spring break. I don't think anyone else has more spring breaks. But that also means you are almost done with the school year. You're so close, and summer is just right around the corner. There's a lot of really cool things happening. I get to get my vaccine next week. Well, step one. So that's exciting news for me. I know some of you have told me you've been able to get yours as well. So there's like little inklings of getting back to normal. And one of those things that we've been doing to get back to normal is we have life groups that have been happening Thursday nights at the church. I almost forgot what day it was at. But Thursday nights at the church, we've been doing life groups, and it's been so great. It's weird because normally when you're on Zoom, you see from here up, and you see this part. But now I'm seeing everyone except for the part that you actually see on Zoom with the mask. So it's still great to see you, but you can still join us. If you like to join us, I have a link down in the description. It's a registration. You only have to fill it out once, but it's basically a COVID release form. Just letting you like sign up so you can be a part of our life groups on Thursday nights. And if you already say you've been like, well, I'm kind of like I haven't really been joining, that's okay. You can jump in. It won't be weird, I promise. We'd love to have you. And I mentioned summer that is just around the corner, and well, there is something special that we have officially launched. And it's coming this summer. And by launched, I mean camp. Camp is coming. There we go. I think it's in the screen. Let's see. Woo! There it is. There's camp. Look at it. It's camp. It's camp. Look this way. I went the wrong way. It's this way. Camp is happening this summer. We are going to camp. You can sign up today. Like it started Thursday. You could sign up. So you can sign up today. Come to summer camp. Woo! They're up there. CPC, you register at cpc.org/events. You'll find it there. You'll find more information there as well. If you have any questions in regards to what's happening, or your parents are like, this is interesting, I need to know more, let me know. We've thought everything through that we can to make sure that you can go to camp. Also, I want you to notice as well, this is going to be the cheapest camp we've ever had. $175, that's it. For 4 days, June 24th, well, it's like an evening, and then 2 full days and another day of awesome camp. We're gonna go to Rock and Water, which we're gonna do some whitewater rafting. We're gonna do some canyoneering, and we're gonna have some fun getting out into nature a little bit. If you need more information on it, email me, message me on Instagram, whatever you need, let me know. I want to be able to answer any questions that you have, and I would love for you to join us this summer at summer camp. It's right there. High school summer camp. And it's lovely pink and blue. And that's my big announcement. I had that ready, and I was excited, and I used it, and there we go. But we are, so I'm really excited for summer camp because we missed out last year. I'm looking forward to it. Again, we've thought through a lot of different scenarios when it comes to what we want to do for camp and how we can keep it safe for everyone. So let me know if you have questions. We would love for you to join us. Sign up today. We do have limited spots, again, because of social distancing, and just in general, it's just we're a little bit tighter. So with the camp, so just sign up as soon as possible. Again, if you and I know I said it was only 175, but that may be a lot for some of you. So if you need scholarships, there's an option, and when you sign up in the form that say, I can't pay for the whole thing. I don't want money to be the reason you don't come to camp, because I think it's so important for all of us, and we're getting ready. I've been working with Sam on it as well, and Bryson and Rachel as well, and we're trying to make sure that it's a camp experience that we haven't been able to have for over a year. Hume Lake was like so long ago, so we're really looking forward to it this year. And again, follow us on Instagram at CPCHSM. FCHSM. CPC, FCH. It's in the description. Oh yeah, and sign up for camp will be down in the description too. All these links in the description for you today. And I'm really looking forward to having camp, having life groups back, and we're gonna have a lot more than just life groups. Hopefully we'll have some more things. My hair is crazy. This is being recorded on Friday, and this is getting chopped off Saturday. So I'm like a little sad about it, but I think, the flip needs to go away. Anyways, I am way off topic because I saw myself on the screen. Anyways, yeah, for any information, all the links will be in the description below. And for more information, if you just need to message us, go to CPC FCHSM. You can message us there, or you can message me on my Instagram, RD Hodges. That's fine. Message me there. That'd be great. I'd love to connect with you. And I also, one thing I did do that I haven't been doing is I always send out a parent email at the beginning of the month to kind of let the parents know what's going on in HSM. But I realized when talking to a few of you that you guys actually check your emails a lot too. And for some reason, I didn't check my email in high school. I know email was barely invented. I'm just kidding. It was definitely around. And I had an email, but I barely used it because why would you? So I know that you guys check your email, so I'm going to send it out to all you guys every month now. You're going to get a monthly email letting you know what's happening, what we're teaching on, and what we're going to learn. And as well as just events happening. So yeah, that's coming too. That's a lot of announcements. That was a lot. And so I've been talking a lot, and so I want to move on and on to our time of worship. And it's one of my favorite songs. So it's our worship band this week did one of my favorite songs, You Say. You may have heard it from Lauren Daigle. And it's such a good song about seeing who God says we are. You say I am loved. That's just so big and so important. And it actually will fit perfectly into our message this week, coming from Rachel, which I'm very excited to have. So we're gonna step now into our time of worship, and then I will see you after Rachel's message.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now every failure, God, and you'll have every victory. Oh, when you say I am loved, when I can't feel a thing, you say I am strong, when I think I am weak, you say I am held, when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe.
Good morning, HSM. It is so good to be with you this Sunday, continuing in our series Afterlife. I'll be bringing week 2 to you live from my backyard. Well, not live, but in the spirit of Easter and new life, I wanted to be out in my garden. But I wanted to start off with a question for you guys this morning. Have you ever met someone who loves celebrating their birthday? Who loves it? You know, maybe they celebrate their birthday for the whole week, and then maybe they celebrate their half birthday halfway through the year. Maybe that person is you. And personally, I love my birthday. And what I love most about it is getting to celebrate with the people that I care about the most, the people that I'm closest to. And I've been thankful to have been able to celebrate my birthday with my family almost every single year. You know, one year, because I stayed in my college town a little longer before heading home, I was able to celebrate with some of my friends from college. And I was so excited for this birthday. You know, I loved getting to celebrate with my family, but this year I would get to celebrate with friends. So, in true birthday fashion, I did a lot of my favorite things. I started out with a slow morning. I got my free Starbucks birthday drink, and then got to share my free Dunkin' birthday drink with a friend. I read some books. I went on a walk. I got some boba later, lots of drinks. But what I was most looking forward to was dinner. We were going to get tacos, of course. And it was going to be dinner with friends. I had a group of 15 people that I was going to get dinner with that night. And I was so excited. But honestly, as it turns out, that was probably one of the most interesting birthdays that I've had. Because parts of that night were really, really rough. You know, in the group of 15 people at times, I felt invisible. It was my birthday, and people were invited to celebrate with me, but in reality, I just felt so alone. You know, everyone was having a grand old time with each other, which made me happy, because obviously I like seeing people happy, but I felt excluded. And on top of that, the guy that I really liked at the time, of course he had no idea, didn't even seem to notice me, or notice me in the special way that I wanted him to. You know, the night became more about seating arrangements. Everyone wanted to sit with the people that they were closest to. And it became more about where we went that night and what we did versus quality time altogether. You know, I personally don't need to be the center of attention. In fact, I'm not the biggest fan of having all eyes in the room focused on me. I just love quality time and quality time with the people that matter to me most. And it was a weird feeling, wondering at points on my birthday, if I got up from this restaurant table right now, would it even matter? If I got up and left, would it even matter? And maybe you can't relate to me with this birthday situation, but you might relate to how I felt at the time. You know, as another example, let's think back to when everything changed to being online. There were a lot of things that made this stretch, and that has made this stretch for all of us who are still online, really hard. But maybe, at least for me, one of the hardest things is not being able to be in the same place together. It's such a weird thing. I mean, what is it like for you guys to be in class but not really be in class? At this point, we've had to use Zoom a lot. And maybe sometimes it can feel like you're invisible because you're just blending in with all the other rectangular boxes on a screen, especially in a bigger call. Of course, that's until you have to speak, where all of a sudden everyone is staring at you, waiting for you to unmute yourself. And then, of course, goes the whole process of, okay, I need to make sure I hit unmute and not turn off video. Or even worse, the audio never fully connected when you joined the call, and now people can't hear you at all. Such is the life of Zoom. I think we've also seen people get more comfortable with using Zoom, where they don't just turn off their mic, but also their video. And honestly, once I saw more people doing that, I felt more okay doing that myself. It kind of felt like freedom, like freedom for a bathroom break, freedom to get more coffee or water, or honestly, to just zone out of the meeting. But if you're like me, on those bigger calls, maybe where you might not even say a word, where you might not even have to, maybe you've wondered, well, if I turned off my mic and my video and no one noticed, does it even matter if I'm here? Does it even matter if I'm here? I think we've all wondered that before. Maybe something along the lines of, does it matter that I'm here? Does anyone care what I think? Or does anyone even notice what I have to say? Maybe you felt like the odd one out in your friend group. Maybe you still do. Maybe your parents won't stop bragging about your brother's athletics or your sister's SAT scores. And maybe you never even hear them telling anyone about you. And if it's not your friends or your family, maybe you might be feeling this way with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a coach, a teacher, coworkers, or maybe a combination of all of those. But I think the thing is when we don't feel seen or valued by the people in our lives, especially the people closest to us, it can make us feel like we don't matter. And whenever we feel like we're overlooked or ignored, it's easy to become discouraged or feel numb and disengaged. And if nobody's listening, then why bother speaking, right? And if nobody's paying attention, then it doesn't really matter what we do, does it? When we feel like we don't matter, it takes the passion and the excitement out of our lives. We don't feel like we're thriving in life, we're just surviving. And nobody wants to feel that way. But I think it's more than that. It's possible, though, that we might have a lot of people telling us in our lives that we matter. And for whatever reason, we don't believe them. You might say something like, well, they're my parents, of course they have to say that. Or, they're my coach, they're just trying to get the best performance out of me. Or, they just feel bad and they're trying to be nice. And so whether we hear this message a lot or not, if we never hear it at all, believing we matter is a lot harder than it looks. And the good news today, though, that we're going to talk about is that there is someone who is very familiar with these feelings that we've experienced. And what we learn from her life can be a big game changer for us. In this series Afterlife, we're talking about Easter. And last Sunday was Easter Sunday, which arguably is the biggest day for followers of Christ. And that's because we celebrate Jesus' resurrection, that he defeated death, that he conquered death, and he came back from the dead. He showed the world that he is bigger and better than we could possibly imagine. With Easter, more specifically, and with this series, we're talking about people who encountered Jesus after his resurrection. And they had a different life after they saw him. This afterlife changed so much while they were still here on earth. And we're going to talk about one of those people today, and her name is Mary. And through her experience with Jesus before and after the resurrection, there's so much to learn. So, before we do that, though, let's get a little bit of context. The Bible, as we know, is a collection of books, 66 of them. And those books were divided into two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So the Old Testament is a collection of books before Jesus was here on earth. And then the New Testament, well, that's the rest. The first 4 books of the New Testament are what we call the Gospels, and they are the accounts of Jesus' life by 4 different people. We've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And those Gospels talk about a handful of different women named Mary. Maybe that was the trendy name back then. But there is a Mary who was the mother of Jesus, and then when Jesus was dying on the cross, there were 2 Marys that were mentioned as well, and one of them, their name was Mary Magdalene. The truth is, we actually don't know a lot about Mary Magdalene, but one thing we know for sure is that she was a committed follower of Jesus. She was committed to following him and being with him. And in fact, her name is mentioned more than any other woman who wasn't in Jesus' family, more than any other woman who wasn't in his family. And the gospel mentions her 12 times. 12. Luke tells us that she traveled with Jesus and helped support his ministry financially. And he also mentions that Mary had not 1, but 7 demons driven out of her. Basically, she was an outcast before Jesus healed her. People stayed far away from those who were demon-possessed. So I think that we can safely say that Mary understood what it meant to be ignored and overlooked. But here's why we're talking about Mary Magdalene today. All 4 Gospels record that Mary Magdalene was there when Jesus was put on the cross. 3 out of the 4 say that she was there when Jesus was buried. And all 4 say that she was the first person to see Jesus resurrected. You know, the disciples get a lot of credit for being Jesus' most loyal followers. But there was no other disciple around in the big moments of Easter as much as Mary was. It was her. And on a day when we celebrate Jesus coming back from the dead, I think it's really important that we pay attention to one of the people who knew him best. She actually didn't get a lot of attention, and in a lot of ways, she lived on the sidelines. And if you don't pay attention to what you're reading, it just sounds like a bunch of women named Mary that no one kept track of. But you don't really get the sense that she was a major player in the story. But the reality is that she was. The Gospel of John, which was another gospel written by one of Jesus' disciples, record that while it was still dark, Mary got up and went to the tomb. But when she got there, the stone that had been rolled or placed in front of the tomb was gone. And Mary didn't immediately think, of course he's gone, Jesus is alive. No, she assumed someone messed with the grave and took his body. She was panicking. She went straight to Peter and the other disciple to tell them, and then they both ran to the tomb. And sure enough, Mary was right. The stone was gone, the body was gone, and all that was left was Jesus' grave clothes. You know, the other disciples left to go tell the others, but Mary stayed right where she was, right by the tomb. As if the sadness of losing a friend wasn't enough, now there was the added trauma of the body being taken or moved. I can only imagine what she was feeling. We can look at John 20, verses 11 to 19, if you want to flip there with me. We'll have it up on the screen too. It says, "Now Mary stood outside the tomb, crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw 2 angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the foot. They asked her, 'Woman, why are you crying?' 'They have taken my Lord away,' she said, 'and I don't know where they have put him.' At this she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize that it was Jesus. He asked her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned towards him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. So, on the day that Jesus defeats death, proving God's love is bigger and better than we can imagine, he makes sure that Mary was there to see it. And this was a big deal, because in the first century, when Jesus lived, a woman was not seen as a reliable witness. Women had no credit. She couldn't testify in court, and her word was never to be trusted over a man's word. And yet, over and over and over again in the gospel, at the cross, at the tomb, and again on Easter morning, it was a woman who saw Jesus first, who recognized him, and who was given the task of telling others. When the rest of the world saw women as unreliable, inferior, or simply untrustworthy, Jesus saw something different. He valued and elevated women, even when the rest of the world did not. Jesus made the decision to trust Mary with his resurrection. And he knew Mary, and he called her by her name. He chose her to be the first person to share the good news with. And while others made assumptions about her because of her gender or her past or anything else that would written her out of the story, Jesus wrote her in as a major character. Jesus made sure that Mary knew that she had value and that her word could be trusted. When the world was sending Mary one message, Jesus was clearly sending her another. And if Mary wondered who she could believe, the resurrection of Jesus gave Jesus all the credibility in the world. So no matter what messages others might have been giving her, no matter what messages we might be getting, because of the resurrection, we can take what Jesus says seriously. We can believe it as true. And Jesus said, Mary mattered. Think of it this way. Because of the resurrection, Mary knew that she mattered. I'll say it again. Because of the resurrection, Mary knew that she mattered. She could have full confidence and assurance that she mattered. Last week we celebrated something that happened 2,000 years ago. 2,000. A day that changed the world. But on the very first Easter morning, it changed the lives of the people who knew Jesus best, most of all. It meant so much. Because now, everything that Jesus had said, everything he had told them, meant more than it did before. Easter morning and Jesus coming back from the dead proved that Jesus actually was who he said he was, and that his words mattered, that they were true. That morning he spoke words that tell all of us about Mary's value and worth. He showed us through his words and his actions. And in a culture where Mary would have heard again and again that she wasn't enough, that she couldn't be trusted, that she didn't matter, that she didn't have credibility, and that she should stay on the outside, on the edges, where she belonged, Jesus made sure that the message that she got from him was different. And this is the same for you and me. See, just like Mary mattered to Jesus, so do you. Because of the resurrection, we can know that we matter. When he said her name, he said your name too. He said the name of people who feel overlooked, unseen, and forgotten. And he said the name of people who feel like our part in the story doesn't matter. Because of Easter, because of the resurrection, Mary knew what Jesus said could be taken seriously. And she experienced his word firsthand, what he did firsthand, and then she got to pass on that news to the rest of the disciples. And we are here celebrating Jesus coming back to life, celebrating Easter, because Mary carried this message back to Jesus' followers. So here's the message I want you to take with you. You are seen, you are known, you are loved, you are valued, and you are important. You matter. It's not just because I say so. Jesus says so. And if and when we wonder if we can take Jesus seriously, we can know because of his resurrection, because he defeated death, because he did what he said he would do, we can trust what he says. And Jesus says Mary mattered. He says that you matter. And when we live like that's true, things begin to change. Our lives look different, and the lives of the people we know and interact with, their lives look different. So I want to leave you with a couple questions this morning, just to think about. Ask yourself these questions. Maybe even take time right now to pause and reflect. Here are the questions. Do you believe that you matter? Do you believe that you matter? Here's the second one. Do you treat yourself like you matter? And do you allow other people to treat you as if you don't matter? Do you treat others as if they matter? And this is a hard one. Are there people you treat like they matter more? And on the other hand, are there people you treat like they don't matter at all? Because of the resurrection of Christ, because Christ rose from the dead, defeating death, defeating sin, we can know that we matter. So what would it look like to start treating yourself and treating others like Jesus did? That they matter, starting today. God, we thank you so much for the meaning that Easter has for us, God. We thank you that through Mary you have shown us that we matter to you, that you see us, that you know us, that you love us, and you choose to include us in your purpose, to know your love, to experience your love, and to make that known to others. So I pray that you would remind us today and each day of the purpose that we have in you, of the new life that we have in you, that we are new creations in Christ. We thank you that we matter to you, and we thank you that you've entrusted other people to us so that we can show them as well that they matter to you, Lord. I pray that you would give us hearts of compassion to all people, and that you would lead us in your love towards others. Thank you for Easter. Thank you for your death on the cross and for defeating sin and death to restore us to right relationship with you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for an awesome message from your backyard. And I really like this series. I know it's like Easter series, and you're like, yeah, of course you like it, but I really liked last week's with John, and this week with Mary, and just kind of seeing their perspective of the resurrection has been really cool. So just remember that if you need to rewatch it, that's what's great about YouTube. Go back and rewatch it. If you missed something, you can pause it, which is great. I'm going to be quick here with the outro. I just want to remind you all that we do have, make sure I can bring it back up, camp signups start today. Well, they started Thursday, but they start today. Check it out. Go up there. Link in the description down below for any camp signups. And if with any questions in regards to HSM, let me know. I want to get you guys connected. And as we're starting to come back, and we want to get reconnected back into what, oh gosh, the pandemic has been so long, and I'm so ready for us to be just hanging out, having bagels again. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for all of you. So that's all I got. And I hope you have a great week. And join us Thursday. We are back for life groups on Thursday at 7 o'clock at the church. We're also online. I did forget to mention that earlier. We're also online with our life group. So, like last week, we had a game night. I know it was spring break, so it was a little weird. We had a few people online and someone in person, and it was fun. So if you are like, I'm still not comfortable meeting in person, we are doing online as well. So join us either way, and hopefully I see you on Thursday. And that's all I got for today. I'll see you guys later.